Rex, my son. Thank you for coming. I know you're getting your new life started, but before that life can continue, there is much you need to answer for when I was away. I assumed as much. I will never understand you, Father, taking their side over mine. But thy will be done. If you truly hold these creatures in such a lofty spot within your heart, then I shall cease trying to convince you away from it. My son, you still don't understand. But it is what your life with Bella below will achieve. You are still divine, and you are still my son, to come and go as you are needed and summoned. But you judge too hastily and too harshly on matters you are ignorant of. You may be divine, but your judgment is not. It lacks much, and is what even you would call imperfect by your own standards. Lacking empathy and clarity of bias. However, I did not make you to be perfect, which is why you must educate yourself to be rid of this immaturity. But that is not the reason I summoned you here. The scars you have left on others in the past have not healed up as easily, and some wounds are still ever bleeding. Worst of all was the one you inflicted on your own brother. You did something the humans of Earth say only I can forgive. Something heinous and cruel. And now, we find a resolution. Nothing stays hidden, Rex. Not from me.
Father, I have arrived. Why have you sent for me? Huh? Rex, what is he doing here?
The two of you have much to discuss, and you will discuss it. I will let you do that, Rex. You know of what I speak.
Father, why have you called us here? I wish to return to whence I came, back to my mourning.
Worry not, my son, for your tears may yet run dry. Now, Rex, tell your brother that burning secret you've been holding inside of your heart.
Father, must I? It is irrelevant and long past. I am paying for my sins in the form of that moon witch of my own creation. Must you now add fuel to a dead fire? Moon witch, you created... You used your ring. Why? When? How? You forbade us from using our rings, but you used yours, you vile liar.
Oh, hush, you foolish boy, youngest of my brethren. Why is it you think I barred you from using them? I made a mistake. I have paid for it every day since.
How long have you hidden this from us?
Since the time right after Father's departure. But don't worry, it wasn't because of your youthful ignorance and bliss back when you were less tolerable. But it's because I chained her to the moon for the last few hundred and some years. And to my merit, she was out of the way, and none of you noticed her until recently. But It did create those horrid blue flowers.
How dare you? You ridiculed me for my choice to take a mortal wife. But this whole time you had one hidden away? You reek of hypocrisy, brother. But I expect no less from someone as detached from reality as you.
Oh yeah? Well then, you will just adore what I have to say next, oh brother of mine. You know your little dragoness. What was her name? Amia? Yes, that was it. Because after I told one of the dragons what she had become and who she was running off with, they chanted that name on their warpath to find her.
You... what?
Yes, brother. I took the guise of a dragon, and I told one of those who would have been her suitor about the other man she's been making conjugal visits to while ignoring his advances. It was strategic. And he was enraged, of course that's what I hoped. And I assumed that his knowledge of your relationship would keep you from seeing each other ever again. A temporary fling of yours. What I had failed to understand was that it would be impossible because of one little secret you two were keeping. The hybrid child.
You are the reason they're dead? Rex! I'll fillet you alive, you bird bastard!
Vox, I understand your fury. I too find his actions worthy of much animosity. But let him finish. I will ask for no more needless violence. Not anymore.
Father, she's dead. My son is dead. How would you feel if you lost one of us?
Oh, but I have. Amia was your wife as much as my daughter by all rights. And on the day you lost your wife, I lost a child. And I grieve her too. But listen. Actually, about that. It's unclear to me as to how, but your hybrid child did not die that day. By the time the dragons arrived at your home, I had absconded with the child. He was never found by any dragon. I hated it, though. I didn't understand it. The child of my brother. I wanted to see it disappear. But I couldn't bring myself to watch it die. So, I left him in the middle of the forest to let nature decide his fate. And the answer that nature gave was to send some old crone his way to take care of him. If that was nature's answer, I didn't intervene any further. Your son still lives.
What? Soren? He's alive? You removed him from the dragons. Why? If you let Amia die, why save him? Only to leave him. Why ruin my family's lives? Just to not finish the job.
Because, you ignorant youngling. You did actually listen to what I said, did you? I told you I tipped off the single dragon suitor of hers in an attempt to keep you apart. I thought he would apply pressure to you so that you would just leave that mortal like Nyx leaves all of his. I never told them how to kill her or where she was, and I never intended for her to die. But you see, dragons have a law I'm sure you're all too familiar with. They can't associate with us divines. But you kept seeing her despite that law, didn't you? Her murder was purely of their design. In fact, I assumed since you made her divine, that she couldn't die. But to my horror, the mistake of my past in creating a divine before you has given them tools to harm us. Her death was the product of mortal cruelty. So, when I saw that everything was going south, I decided that the hybrid child had no place in it. In fact, they didn't even know you had a child, so they never looked. I'm not going to apologize. I don't seek forgiveness because what is done cannot be undone. But, in my poor judgment to assume Father's will, I made a mistake that led you to so much pain. I thought I was saving you from the same mistake that I had made, and I didn't realize I was depriving you of a blessing. I don't expect you to take this well, so do as you wish, and I won't stop you. But perhaps knowing the truth can finally help you halt your ceaseless sorrow. For what it's worth, if time weren't an issue, I would go back and undo what I did. But that can't happen, so whatever. Shut up! Just shut up! Shut up for once in your eternal life! I don't care what you meant, what you thought, or what you did. If it weren't for your actions, I would still have my family! I've been mourning them for decades, only to find the reason for my pain was my own older brother. Brothers are supposed to look out for their younger siblings, guide them on what's right. I followed you for so long, but as soon as you felt scorned, you took my happiness and left nothing but trails of blood and tears in your wake. Just don't. Don't come near me, don't talk to me, don't even look at me. I just need a life without you instead of Father this time. I think that would benefit us all. Until I say otherwise, just stay down where you belong with your lovely little mortals. Goodbye, Father. Rex.
Where are you going now, Vox?
To find my son! Well, there you go. How's that for trying to make amends?
You could use a bit of an attitude change, but otherwise I am satisfied. It must hurt before it heals. And trust me, it needs to hurt. A lot.
So what now? I just go live like a human until I get small times of respite when I'm needed? This is more of a cruel joke than a punishment.
The purposes of punishment are to alter and mold the behavior of one's young. And it is getting more clear to me that I did not punish you enough as a child. It's always the first child that's the most spoiled.
You even sound like a human now. Act like a god if you intend to be a god.
And yet again, you know so little, Rex. Go now, back to Bella. You have a small cottage in the forest waiting for you, I believe.
Damn it all.